My name is Grant Shipman. I'm the founder of Livingsmith and are now into the property analysis and criteria. This answers the question, what works for properties and what doesn't? Because we want to get the properties that work and we want to quickly step away from the properties that don't work. We want to say fast no's, and then when we say yes, we want to have a sure, confident yes. And that's what this is for. A property needs to pass two tests in order for it to work for Beyond House Hacking. One, it has to pass the financial criteria. Two, it has to pass the functional criteria. So we're focusing on functional criteria, meaning that does the property have enough bedrooms? Does the property have enough parking spots? Functionally, does the property work? And that's what we're going to dive into. So this is a series on the functional criteria and analysis for the property. This is the beginning of that. So I want to tell you the master question. We're going to apply this to any question. For instance, how many bedrooms do we need? What about storage? We're always going to ask this master question. It's what works best for the household. Now, whether you want to say it out loud for me or with me like a goofball, or say it inside your head, say it with me. What works best for the household? That is key. In Beyond House Hacking, we team, and it's required, the investors and the household, the residents. So whatever is great for the household is great for you as the investor. And if it's not great for the household, you as the investor want to run away. So what is best for the household? Well, that kind of brings up an interesting question. What is a household? This is a term that's been kind of lost by the wayside in a lot of ways. And so Livingsmith defines the household as those who live together and how they live together. So the ones who live together under a roof and how they live together under that roof, that's the household. So the question is, what is best for the household? And we're going to knock through a few things and then we're going to dive in deep. So get ready. One is, what about parking? Let's apply our master question. What is best for the household? Answer, if there is 7 people living in the household or will live in the household, then we want it to control 7 parking spots. So that could be 4 parking spots in the driveway, or maybe there's only 2, more of a 2-car garage, 2 parking spots in the driveway, and then around the curb of the property, not the neighbor's curb, around the curb of the property, there's 5 more spots. So those 2 plus 5 equals 7. We say that controls 7 parking spots, and that works best for the household. If there's more than that, awesome, but we don't want less than that. Next, what about bedrooms and bathrooms? Because this is a big concern. Nobody wants to be waiting for the bathroom when they need to take a shower or something like this and get ready to work. Bedrooms to bathrooms. What we do is we say 3 people to 1 bathroom. Now we're going to go on to the next one, common areas. Let's apply our master question. What is best for the household? You just want to have this cadence going on over and over in your head. What is best for the household? In regard to common areas are any areas outside of that, the private bedroom that residents have all their stuff in. That's their private area. Common areas are everything else: the kitchen, living room, hallways, garage, outside. The common areas, what about those? What's great for those? Well, let's just focus on living rooms. Some houses are going to have 3 or 4 living rooms, and we find that this is not great for the household. It's not best. There's just more areas to clean, more areas to leave cups, more areas to lose your shoes in. So what's best for the household? We're going to say that one big living room, one main living room, think about the upstairs, kind of that master living room, and or maybe 2 smaller living rooms. So maybe the upstairs living room is kind of small, but there's a downstairs TV room that's kind of small. We don't want 2 big living rooms because that just doesn't seem to be what's best for the household. It's a lot more to clean. The other one that's nice is on in addition to this, if there's a back patio, that's fantastic, or a front porch. It's nice to have a place where they can hang out outside, just one or two people, maybe. So some of our best houses have kind of the covered porch in the back, and it's a great place for people to relax in the cool evening. So what is best for the household? Let's talk about kitchen cabinets and refrigerators. So what's our master question? What is best for the household? I want to be one of those just broken records because it's going to get in your head and it's going to help you make awesome decisions and you're going to crush it. So what's best for the household? Well, with cabinets, we want to have one cabinet for every person in the household, every resident who's part of that household. We want to have a cabinet. So one door that opens up in the kitchen, because that's going to be their private pantry where they put their food that doesn't need to be refrigerated. So we want to have that happen, and we're going to talk about that more in the kitchen part when we get into that video. But the other one is refrigerator shelf. So we've got our non-refrigerated stuff in the one cabinet, so we've got to have enough cabinet space. The other one is we want to have one refrigerator shelf per resident as well, so they can load their things in there. So that oftentimes means in a typical refrigerator, we see 3, maybe tops 4 refrigerator shelves. So that means in a 7-person house, we're going to have a second refrigerator, and there's going to have to be space for that. Typically, there's not space in the kitchen, but there's space very close to the kitchen, lots of times right inside the garage, the man door, when you can walk from the house into the garage. This is where lots of our refrigerators go. We do have one that there's room in the refrigerator for room in the kitchen for the refrigerator, and there's space for 2 refrigerators, and it works great. What about laundry? Laundry, well, for 7 people, for 8 people, for 10 people, a basic laundry setup is going to be fine. Just a side-by-side washer and dryer. If there's 7 or less, you might be able to get away with one of those smaller over and under washer and dryers. The last one is storage. What works best for the household? Well, one main thing is some people who have a lot of storage, they're going to have to rent a storage space elsewhere. But when you're living together, it is nice not to have to have all your stuff in your room. So what we do is we provide a 2-foot by 8-foot by 1.5-foot high shelf, a 2-foot by 8-foot storage shelf. It's usually out in the garage, and that's where somebody's able to put like 3 or 4 boxes of things that they don't want to keep in the room. Some people don't use that space, some people do, but what works best for the household is having some extra storage space outside of their bedroom. So we're getting into what works for properties. We just hit some top ones. And what's our magical question? What works best for the household? If you answer that question over and over and over again, and you don't forget that, you're going to knock it out of the park every time. So thanks for investing in yourself in this way. Go live your daydreams.